Rome wasn't built on gold and conquest alone. It was built on an unshakable mindset, a philosophy that forged emperors into legends. But what made men like Marcus Aurelius endure war, betrayal, and chaos without breaking? There was a philosophy so powerful, so absolute, that it shaped the minds of Rome's greatest leaders, and yet much of it has been forgotten. Until now. By the end of this video, you'll understand the lost Stoic philosophy that made emperors unstoppable, and how you can use it to master your own life. Marcus Aurelius never wrote for an audience. His words weren't meant for us. They were his private reflections, his way of keeping himself grounded in a world of chaos. And yet, centuries later, his words hold the key to resilience, discipline, and self-mastery. Because even though the world has changed, the battles of the mind remain the same. To be an emperor wasn't just about wearing a crown or commanding legions. It was about surviving. Every day brought new threats, assassinations, betrayals, war. The moment you let your emotions take control, you lost. Weakness meant death. Indecision meant collapse. And without an iron mind, even the most powerful men crumbled under the weight of their own empire. But the greatest among them understood something that set them apart from the rest. Power wasn't about controlling others, it was about controlling themselves. Rulers who relied on fear alone were quickly replaced, but those who mastered their own impulses, they endured. Look at Augustus, the man who took Rome from the brink of destruction and turned it into an empire that would last for centuries. He could have ruled through terror, like those before him. He could have sought revenge on his enemies, given in to rage, or let ambition cloud his judgment. But instead, he mastered self-restraint. He turned rivals into allies. He avoided political suicide, even when it meant swallowing his pride. And because of that, he brought stability to Rome when it needed it most. Because Stoicism wasn't just about enduring life's hardships, it was about mastering them, turning obstacles into opportunities, using discipline not just to survive, but to thrive. Most people spend their lives fighting battles they can't win, arguing over things they can't change, complaining about the past, stressing over the future, wasting energy on things outside their control. But emperors didn't have that luxury. They couldn't afford to be distracted by things that didn't matter. They had to focus on what did. Because power isn't about controlling the world, it's about controlling yourself, so the world can't break you. Marcus Aurelius ruled during one of the most turbulent times in Roman history. Plague, war, famine, betrayal. His empire was crumbling at the edges, enemies pressing in from all sides. But he never lost focus. He didn't waste time blaming others. He didn't rage at the gods or complain about the unfairness of it all. He acted, he adapted, he accepted what he couldn't control and mastered what he could. And because of that, Rome endured. So next time you find yourself frustrated, caught up in emotions, stop, take a breath, and ask yourself, am I reacting or am I controlling what I can? Most people avoid discomfort. They run from pain, from struggle, from anything that forces them out of their comfort zone. But emperors, they walked straight into it. Not because they enjoyed suffering, but because they understood a fundamental truth. Hardship wasn't the enemy, weakness was. The greatest rulers in history weren't handed power. They weren't born invincible. They were forged in the fire of adversity. Every challenge, every setback, every moment of suffering shaped them into something stronger. Take Vespasian. He wasn't born into wealth or nobility. He didn't have a powerful name to protect him. He was mocked for his low birth, overlooked, dismissed. But where others saw an obstacle, he saw an opportunity. He endured. He fought through civil war, betrayal, and famine until he became emperor. Not because fortune smiled upon him, but because he refused to break. Because suffering didn't weaken him, it hardened him. It made him unshakable. Most people see struggle as something to escape, something unfair. But those who rise, those who lead, those who dominate their world, they see struggle as fuel. They understand that every hardship is a sharpening stone, every setback a chance to build resilience. And the harder the path, the stronger they become. Vespasian could have given up 100 times. He could have let his circumstances define him. Instead, he chose to embrace the pain, to use it as training. And in the end, it wasn't his birthright that made him emperor. it was his ability to outlast, to adapt, to endure when others crumbled. So the next time life pushes against you, when the road gets hard, when things don't go your way, ask yourself, are you going to break or are you going to rise? Because suffering is only suffering if you see it that way. But if you use it, if you lean into it, it becomes your greatest weapon. Most people act like they'll live forever. They waste time, procrastinate, put off the things that matter, convinced they have all the time in the world. But Roman emperors didn't have that illusion. Every decision they made carried weight because tomorrow wasn't promised. They ruled in a world where betrayal could come at any moment, where war could erupt without warning. They knew that hesitation could mean the end, not just of their reign, but of their lives. That's why they didn't waste time on petty distractions or meaningless pursuits. They lived with urgency, with purpose, with an unshakable awareness that every moment counted. Your time is borrowed. Nothing is guaranteed. Not success, not wealth, not even the next sunrise. So make every move like it's the only one that counts. Don't wait for the perfect time. It doesn't exist. Don't assume you'll have another chance because you might not. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, you could be dead tomorrow. But he didn't dwell on it in fear. He used it as fuel, a reminder to act with purpose, to lead with wisdom, to speak with intention, to live without regret. Because when you understand that life is fragile, that time is slipping away whether you acknowledge it or not, everything changes. The excuses disappear, the distractions lose their grip, and what really matters comes into focus. So ask yourself, if today was your last, would you be proud of how you lived it? Would you be content with the choices you made, the way you spent your time, the impact you left behind? Or would you wish for more discipline, more action, more courage? Because in the end, the question isn't whether life will end, it's whether you'll truly live before it does. Control what you can, or be controlled by chaos. Use suffering as a weapon, because hardship shapes the unbreakable. And remember, your time is borrowed, so make every move count. The emperors of Rome built a world-changing empire with these ideas. Imagine what they can do for you. These aren't just ideas from history, they're blueprints for mastering your own life. The emperors used them to shape an empire. Now it's your turn. Which of these Stoic laws resonated with you the most? Drop a comment below, I want to hear your thoughts. And if you're serious about diving deeper, I've put together a reading list in the description. These books will take you straight into the minds of history's greatest leaders. Like if you liked the video, and subscribe for more ancient wisdom. And remember, power isn't given, it's built. Until next time, stay stoic.